First of all, I will read one stanza that by mistake I think I've left out in my other video. This is stanza number 127. It's a very important stanza. I think I actually said something about this before, but the actual stanza, it seems I have not read. The stanza is, "This very thing is pleasing to the Buddha's hearts and perfectly secures the welfare of myself. This will drive away the sorrows of the world, and therefore it will be my constant work." So now this in Tibetan reads like this. Dini tegin shepa ijiyin rondo yondo jabawon dini to jiten dungal serwawon dini te ti dokito teni sha. So this is about the result, by serving all the sentient beings, by helping all the sentient beings, by being a good friend and close and kind and compassionate to sentient beings, what good will that bring to me and others? So in short, in summary, this is it. This is something that will completely and undoubtedly please all the enlightened beings. All the enlightened beings. If you believe in a God, it will be the one to help to make him or her pleased with you. If there are Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, certainly this will be the way to please them, because they don't need anything for themselves. So only thing they desire most is to help all the sentient beings. And if you are doing that, then you would be doing the best thing they want. So therefore, their purpose will be served. So therefore, it pleases them. It also pleases all the positive beings, gods and goddesses, if you want to say, according to certain cultures. There are lots of gods and goddesses and positive beings, so you please them too. And not that alone. When this we talked a lot already, so I don't want to repeat too much. But I think this is something you cannot repeat enough, because this is what we need really to deeply understand and deeply get into our system. When you help other people, when you help sentient beings, or you serve, if you use the word that Shantideva wants to use, or Buddha wants to use actually, is not only to help them. Of course it will help them. If you try to help somebody, it will help them. And when you are able to help somebody, you feel good about it also, because you feel that your life is purposeful, your life is meaningful. Not only that, he says, they really, if you want to do something really useful, meaningful, completely, helping yourself in a big way and real way and long-term way, that's by serving sentient beings. Because through that you will create positive karma, and then you have positive life. Through that, your positive qualities will increase, like compassion, kindness, wisdom, and all positive things will happen. And so therefore it will actually lead you to complete Buddhahood, complete enlightenment. So therefore, from being, because whatever positive things you do, it comes back to you. You are the one who actually gets the most benefit. So therefore, from short, small, you can't say small, but short-term benefits in this life to complete long-term benefits. So if you really want to do something helpful to yourself, it's by serving sentient beings. And this is what His Holiness the Dalai Lama often says, if you want to help yourself in a very intelligent way, then you have to be kind and compassionate and serve sentient beings. That's what it is. This is the one through which you can actually transform the world, to make this world into a better world. If you want to do something like that, if you want to transform the world, this world, the human world, you have to try to be kind and serve and help each other. That's the only way. Only way to bring an end to the suffering of the world is, learn to feel kindness and compassion in yourself. Learn and try to help others to generate that loving kindness, compassion, and the sense of, one wishing to help and serve each other. And if this becomes the attitude, becomes the personality, becomes the way people do things, the world will be freed from all kind of sufferings and pain and problem, and we can create a true heaven on earth. It's not impossible, although it is very difficult because people don't understand this. And therefore, if I try to do it myself, that much, if I am a little bit more kinder, a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more, understand the sufferings of others and do something to contribute to the elevation of the problems and sufferings of others, and have a little bit sense of serving them or helping them, or even if it is nothing much, but just saying a very some kind words, or just some expression of understanding and support, that itself is also contributing towards that. However small, however big, however insignificant, that is a contribution towards getting rid of the world's sufferings. So because of that, I should be doing this. I should be serving beings. I should be kind and compassionate. I should not retaliate and become angry and hateful and have ill will to anybody. And even if they are harming me and they are doing all kind of negative things towards me, I should not do the same in return, but the opposite. Even if that wouldn't change them, even if it wouldn't change them, most of the time it will change them also. So that's the 127. And then I'll come to the last, which is the conclusion. So senjin guli shungani maung somjin tashu tsendeni la pachen tong drato shenjir ji ma tong konze zubin zisu tong neme pa tong drapayi shendu yirin tsowa tong koli jirwi deji top shunchi sembi shepala jupala zuba tenba heshawati liu trupao. So this is the last two stanzas. I think it seems. No need to mention future Buddhahood. This is 133. Stanza number 133. No need to mention future Buddhahood, achieved through bringing happiness to beings. How can I not see the glory, fame, and pleasure even this life will likewise come? I think this, maybe I have already read through, but bringing happiness to all the sentient beings, serving all the sentient beings, or any sentient being in that case. I can't do all at the same time, but any sentient beings, good beings, not so good beings, even very harmful, negative beings, if I try to help them, if I try to be kind and compassionate towards them, all these kind of things, difficult beings, nice beings, kind beings, of course it will, my kindness, my compassion will bring me to Buddhahood. That's nothing to mention. But also, this being kind and compassionate and patient will bring myself in this very life, glory, fame, and pleasure. The story of the first king. There is a story in India that how did the first king happen in the world? It is said that there was one time when nobody had any properties of its own. They just lived. They just plucked fruits and whatever was growing around, and then ate that, and then they lived happily with that. But then people started to become a little bit more, more needy, or maybe you can say more anyway, what they did was people started to hoard. Some people started to pluck lots of fruits and whatever there to and then hoarded them, put in there, and then they kind of used when all this was gone. And so some people who were more lazy, who were not thinking too much in the future, were very destitute, at a certain season, and they were having problems, the problems to eat and drink, and because of that, then they were trying to steal or they were trying to rob from others. So they saw that this is not right, this should not be. So then they said, no, we should not do like this. We should divide the land into, each person should have their own kind of piece of land. And then whatever is growing there, they can themselves take it whenever they want, and then they'll use that, and so they don't have to steal from others, and others don't have to, hoard so much. So they agreed on that, but then they had to find somebody who is, trusted by everybody to kind of divide the lands in the most impartial way. So they all were looking, and then there was one person, very truthful, very honest, very impartial, very nice person, very good person. So everybody went and asked him to do this for them. So he agreed, and he kind of he did the job, and he did it very nicely. He really divided all the land to all the people in that group in a very good way. Nobody had any complaint. Everybody was very happy and completely satisfied. But at the end they found out that actually he forgot to give any portion to himself. He was so much busy, so much involved in trying to give everybody a right proportion, or the good portion, that he forgot about himself. So he himself had no part. There was nothing left for himself. No land was left for himself. So when the people found that, then they said, no, this is not possible. You should have your part also. You should have. He said, okay, well, it doesn't matter. It's okay. I will somehow manage. So they all, when the seasons came, and when the flowers came, or fruits came, or vegetables came, crops developed, everybody decided to take a small piece from themselves, a small portion from themselves, and give it to him. So that, actually at the end, he had the biggest portion, because everybody gave him little things, whatever from their own things. So actually he had the most. He had more every year than anybody had in their own portion. And then they all asked him to be their kind of leader, and their, try to guide them, try to mediate any problems, and things like that. And then, so that's why he became the king, Mangkur. Mangkur means respected by many. That was the first king, the king Mangkur. And also this, people giving a small portion of them, this later on became tax. So therefore, even at that level, the great beings, glorious beings, famous, all because they actually have the welfare of other people, so they become like that. For patience is samsara in samsara. For patience in samsara brings such things as beauty, health, and good renown. Its fruit is great longevity, the vast contentment of a universal king. So this is the last stanza. It says that, because of the patience, There are lots of stories that, if somebody is really beautiful, with good health, and have everything goes well, and lives long, and all these things, and great, become very, very famous, and very, that people, everybody likes him, and it's a result of a good.
To be continued.